All right, so we're recording now.
Thank you.
So we're going to put a Response Magic magnet in an actual page. And let me pull up my Response Magic. Oh, no, we didn't want to do that. We're going to come out and put a new tab. Okay, and since I have so many magnets, I'm going to come here and go to my customer magnets and pull up one that I already have. And I'm going to use, which one? One of them has a video. I think I want to use the one with the video. Is this the one with the video? No. Not that one. So let's see, was it this one? Hold on a minute, Evie. Hercules is asleep. All right, let's see. I thought one of them had a video. Maybe it doesn't.
How about keep updated?
Let's check. I think that's one I did for training. Yeah. Which is fine. We'll find one. I know I got one. I know I got one here.
There it is.
This is the one for wine, so we'll use the one for wine. That's fine. So let's go to here and go to my business opportunity. All right, so I have that video there. And so what I'm going to do, this is my health benefits. So I'm going to put my magnet at the bottom. So I'm going to go to edit my page. Okay, and I'm going to come down to the very bottom. We're going to create a block. I'm going to put a paragraph. Okay, and then I'm going to come here and I want to do custom HTML. I'm going to come to my Response Magic and I'm going to grab this link. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab this one. Hold on a minute. Evie, put it up. Okay, so I don't want to do an HTML code. I'm going to do an image because I do have image and other information there. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste the URL there. Is that somebody needs to mute themselves with that right there? Their information. Who's got the TV on? If we could mute the TV or something, a show, so I don't have to mute everybody. I'm going to have to mute everybody. Okay. There we go. All right. So it didn't like that. So I'm going to have to do my code. Hold on just a minute. Now, upset it up. I told you not to move those that go backward. Okay. For some reason, it's not pulling up the video, which is fine. But here is, you can see the magnet's going to be here. And then I'm just going to update. And then when they come here, you can preview your page. And then when you go to your page, you can scroll down to the bottom. And there's your magnet. And they're going to have to fill out their name, first name, last name, and an email, and join today. And then it will come to My Response Magic for that magnet. So then I can come back here and I can go to my email list and I will look for that magnet. That I've created, or the email list that shows up for that magnet, which I think it was this one. And so when they sign up, then I will come here and look at my contacts. And once they sign up, then it will show right here for that magnet. And then everything, you know, then I will just come back and look for them. And then about once a week, I come in and check these. And once they sign up, then I will send them an email and say, hey, when can we get together? And I can explain how this amazing program works. And they can either sign up as a brand partner or they can sign up as a customer. So that's how that works. And you can do that with just about any, you know, Response Magic that you create. You can put it in a page. You can, you know, work with it different ways, but it's always will be there for you to use. Okay. So did that answer some questions? You there?
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was on mute.
Oh, yeah, I had it on mute. Somebody had some interesting background ambience that I didn't want on the recording. So that's how you can use the Response Magic for your advantage. And you can go in there and, like I said, create any kind of magnet that you want to with Response Magic. You know, and that's easy to do. You just go into your create. You're going to go to your opt-in form, and, you know, you're just going to create a new list. You're going to create your header. You can change your color, your call to action, you know, and as you're creating this, it will show you what it's doing. So you can see if you don't like that color, if you don't like the way it's looking, you know, you can always change it. This is for a video. If you want to put a video in it, you just pull something from YouTube or whatever, you can put the link there. It doesn't always show up on your page, but if you post it, that link, you know, to say Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, put that link in there. Then once they click on that link, it will show up. It'll show any video that you have in there, but it won't always show up on our page. And it just depends, and it's because of the link that I use. Because I used the widget, that's why the video didn't show up. When I tried to post the link in there, it didn't quite like it. So there's something wrong with the settings that's not going to let it show that video. I will work on that to figure out what that is. But when I posted it on my Skipio, I posted it on my Instagram, the videos did show. So when I come here and this wine one right here, when I, come on up. If I post these right here, your vertical, your horizontal, and open that up, people open that up, then they can see that video. Same thing with the vertical. The vertical just appears differently, but they can see this, and then they can come here and register. I actually put on there for them to connect with the Facebook if they want to, but if they come here and fill out their information, they can do that as well. and they get to see the compensation plan. And as soon as they register and say join today, then I can go in there and give them the information that they need. And the, Response Magic will let me know, hey, somebody signed up. And then I can immediately go there, see which one they signed up for, and make sure I give them the information that they need and get me a new customer, a new brand partner.
Okay, so the call to action, that is just like where you might say join today or sign up or leave your email or...
Yeah, call to action is what you want them to do.
Okay.
Like with my call to action, this is, if I can pull it up properly, would be, where is it at? Go to your opt-in form. So like this one, your call to action is, you want to join today, get started, or stay in touch. It just depends on how, like mine is Amazing Wine Club, get wine delivered with this Amazing Wine Club, for this one particularly.
Okay.
So it just depends on how you want to word it. The call to action, that's just, letting you know what you're looking for, but you can basically put whatever you want to on these information. The call to action, just, if you just want to put another title in there, what it's for, that's totally up to you. This is, you're going to be your magnet. So you want it to still, just like with your website, you want it to be personable. You want it to represent what you're asking them for, and also let them know a little bit about what it is. So you don't want to be vague in it. Mine's a wine club. I want you to join my wine club. Get some information on it. This is exactly Wine of the Month Club. So you can put whatever you want to in here, but you want to make sure that it's still professional and that it's talking about exactly what you're advertising for. So you don't want to be misleading.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what are we going to talk about today? Let's see. So what do we need to go over today?
Hi, Sheila. This is Wendelin Taylor.
Hey, Wendelin.
I'm sorry. For 30 minutes, I was trying to log on. Did you start late? Oh,
I did. I got stuck with my grandson at his taekwondo testing today.
Okay.
And I couldn't get anything to come on while I was driving. I was trying to log in while I was driving, and it wouldn't let me get in. I was I was telling some of my students, let everybody know, but then because I'm the host, y'all couldn't get in.
Okay, I thought maybe it was my
no,
computer,
I was
just
no.
I just had a new router put in. I was like, okay,
Yep. So we
have to come back.
yeah. No, we just started about 20 minutes late, and that was totally my fault.
That's okay.
But we just been chit chatting, trying to catch up, answering some questions. So that's why I was saying, if anybody has anything they want me to go over.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what you need?
Yeah, I actually created a page for one of the affiliates that I got approved for.
Okay.
Now, does the page supposed to show up on the very first page of my website?
No, if you
I
did
something wrong.
Yeah. Okay, if it showed up on your first page, then that means you did a post instead of a page. So, Yep. So if you're going here and you go to your new, if you go to post, every post will show up on your first page, which is your home page. If you're creating anything new, you always want to create it in a page, because then that way you can put it in a category. Posts cannot be put in categories. They will always remain on your first page. So if you wanted it to be a page, then what you're going to have to do is copy it, get you a blank page. When you open up a new blank page, before you copy it, you want to put your title in.
Okay.
Because if you don't, it will assign it a computerized title, and then you have to change a whole bunch of stuff. So as soon as you open up a new page, which is the first thing you want to do, is open up a new page. So you want to have 2 new tabs up here. You want to have a tab up here with your page on it, and then you want to open up a brand new tab, open up your website again, and then open a new page. So you have a blank page. That way you can work from one to the other. And so what you're going to do is, on your new page, you're going to copy your title first, and then you're going to go back to your home page. and then copy whatever is the page that you want to move. So say and it will always appear as your first one. The first thing you did would always be, the last thing you create will always be the first thing that posts. So in your edit, you have to go down and edit. Then you will copy everything that is here. You will go to your new page, and then you will paste it. And then, just open up a block and just hit paragraph and paste. And then it will paste everything in there. And then depending on if it was in classic mode or regular block, since you are new, it will probably be in block form. It will go ahead and transfer everything over. Some of your pictures might be a little iffy depending on where they came from. So you might have to do a little tweaking to it to make sure everything's back the way it is. And then what you want to do is go back to your home page and you want to delete that post.
Okay.
Yeah. But the only time you want to put something on a post is if you know for sure you want it to stay there. That's something you want people to always be able to see, because those cannot be indexed and into a category or menu item. They will remain on your front page. But the good thing about it is if you're trying to get your Google AdSense wants at least 2 post on your homepage. Some people only have 1. You have to have at least 2.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
I'm so proud of that page. I thought I did a good job. And I was like, where is it? Why is it on the first page?
Yeah, it's wonderful. If you've created a new page, it doesn't take away from anything. It still has its same link. The only difference is you just need to make sure you just move it to a page. Everything will move exactly the way it needs to move. If you want to leave it there, you can leave it there. And some people will do that because it's something that they know is going to be standard. If it represents you and what your website's going to be about, then leave it. I would leave it because then that way people can see what you're going to be talking about, what your website's going to be basically incorporating. But if it's more of an advertising thing, then I would put it in a page. And then if later on you want to index it into one of your categories here or your menu tabs, then you would definitely need to put it in a page.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's on the main page, and then it is under wine and coffee because it's for coffee.org. And they also,
so
I'm going to have to change it.
Yes, you're going to have to copy it and paste it over into that. You will definitely have to do that.
Okay.
All
right.
And it's not going to be hard. The only thing is you're going to have to, when you do go back and do it as a page, you just need to make sure you put your focus keyword back in there, your focus phrase, because it won't copy over. But if everything is green and green, it should be exactly the same. Your links should post over exactly the same. But then you'll have to delete the one on the home page.
Okay, will do.
All right. Okay. Next. All right, hold on. Got some chatter over here. Let's see what we got over here for chatter. All right. As far as the wine, I don't drink wine. And but the thing about it is yes, when you get into the wine club, you have to have that monthly wine shipment. That's part of the club, just like with Valentis. You have to have that monthly order in order to qualify for your commissions. You can either come in as a customer or you can come in as a brand partner for the wine. You still will get a link that you can promote. The other thing with the wine is, as a customer, you can, once you get 3 customers of your own, then your wine is also free. You will get $20 for each customer you bring in. As a brand partner, the commissions run a little differently, but you still, once you get 3 customers, not brand partners, you get 3 customers, your wine will also be free. And you just have to pay the monthly shipping and tax, which runs, I think, $1,000 a month. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you have to pay the monthly shipping and tax. And then you depending on what state you're in, can run anywhere from $12 to $15, give or take a little bit, for that. So then the other one. Okay, my opt-in didn't have any. Yes, my opt-in does have required fields. If you look at it, it says right here, first name, last name, email address. When you go to create a new magnet, you can have in there anything you want. But my thing is, especially if you're going to be calling these people, you want to make sure that you at least are in the right time zone. So that's why I always request a state, but because I put them in here to connect with Facebook, they will only give me their email address. When I email them, I will ask them, where are you located? What state are you in? And for a phone number so that I can call them. That way I make sure that we are in the right time zone.
Is
so
that a Facebook limitation?
Yes, Facebook, whenever you allow them to connect with Facebook, Facebook will only allow you to get their name and their email address. They do not give out any personal information. So that's why when you have it on your website in the sidebar, you always want to put an indicator of that. You know, some people will ask for a phone number. A lot of people won't give their phone number on the website. So I always put a state. That way I can look on my time zone map and see where they are. And then once I email them, that's where I ask for their information. Because then I'm going to be asking, hey, when can we set up a time to get together and talk about this product or talk about the opportunity that whichever one they're looking for. That's when I'll ask for personal information like their phone number, you know, where they located, what's a good time to get in touch with them. And then once I get on the phone with them, then I'll start my Trello card and put all the information in there. Okay. But you get to determine. The other thing is you don't want too many things on here because you don't want it to be, you know, so much information that there's like, I ain't got time to fill out all this. You just want it to be very concise and just the most important things that you need to get started with. They don't need to put everything on here because you're going to be asking them that when you do your BRT to get, you know, to build that relationship, to get them involved in whatever it is they're asking for information on. You don't want to blow them up here by getting everything at one time. Just get the most pertinent and important things to get you started when you're doing your Response Magic Magnet. Okay, so there was one more. Okay, if they live in a dry county, then you will have to have them, if they want to get into the wine, then they have to have it shipped to an appropriate location. Some states, the local liquor store or ABC store will accept it. You just have to ask. We do have some states that are no-ship states. Rory actually lives in one, which is Utah. Oklahoma just opened up. We still have Alabama that's not open yet. Arkansas is not open yet. Is it Alabama? I know it's Arkansas. Utah, I think it's Illinois. Then if those people want to get wine, then they have to have it in another state that they can order it from and have it shipped to that state. Roy actually has a drop box in another state across the border, and he goes over about once a month, he says, or a couple of times a month, and picks up his wine that he orders and brings it back across the border. So if they want it, then that's the only stipulation until those other states open up. Okay. All right, so do we have any other questions? Or anything that we need to go over?
I got an email from Cosme.com, maybe other people did too, and something about if it's going to expire in a couple of days or in a certain amount of time, and I can respond now, and I guess I can say join again or wait after a certain date, and it'll activate itself. You got the email that says that it has been deactivated? Well, let me see. I should.
It says that it's going to expire, so you can use accept or just wait until I think
Right.
10 days and it'll renew itself?
Yeah, yeah. Usually you will have, depending on the company, you have a 30, 60, 90 day that they, if they don't see a lot of activity in your website or people's not looking at your information, then yes, it will expire. But if you can, and usually they will send say, hey, it expires or your link's going to expire. All you have to do is just go right back in and just reapply. Or you can wait and they'll send you information and say, hey, it's been reactivated. Now I get these little, where is it at? I get things all the time about so-and-so's deactivated, and usually when they deactivate, you'll get emails about, a company's being deactivated. Usually when they're deactivated, it means that they've changed something in their contract, they're updating their pages, they're putting in new information. So like right here, like this one right here, deactivated Hip Hop Bling. So it's just, you'll get that. This company deactivates about 3 or 4 times a month. It's a small end. Whoever has that on, can you please mute yourself? That is very annoying. So whenever you get these, just know that they're going to probably reactivate. But I see right here where you got the where is it? Somewhere I saw it.
Cosme.com. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah,
right there. And it has a pending. So if you have something pending, all you have to do is go to your commission junction or CJ and look under your task bar. Remember I was telling y'all about your task. Under your task, you have that information and it will say pending, and all you have to do is go in and accept. A lot of people are not aware of that. So if you go right here under task, and right here you got where it says pending offers, review offers for pending approval, or right here, automatic replacement. Either one of those, you just click on it, especially this one where it says pending review. Just click on that, and once it comes up, you just click on the ones that you need, which is usually all of them, and you just click right here where it says accept offer and click it, and it says it's been accepted. All of them's been accepted, and then you just hit continue. Yes. Okay. And but they're telling you got program terms and condition changes. So you just go through there, read it, make sure you got your acceptance. Click on yes. So that's all you need to do is just come here to your task and make sure and then here you can actually manually accept the offer, and you will be just fine, and you won't have to worry about all that other information. And always come here and look, read, see what has changed. If anything, come down and you want to accept, it marks it, then continue, then it's been changed. So that's where you want to come on your Cosme, your CJ, is when you come in and log in, you want to go to your task and actually upload and approve. So right here where it's got these review pending offers, that's where you will find that one for Cosme D, and just go back in and accept the offer. That just means that they've changed something.
I just want to make sure it wasn't because of my lack of traffic.
And if you have, and I was telling some of my students this week, they were talking about where their traffic is 0, they have no impressions. If you have 0 impressions, you do not have enough advertising, which means you have not posted enough in those free ad sites. You need to get those ads out there, because that's the only way you're going to get any kind of response. People don't know you're out there until you let them know you're out there. 200 ads is not enough in the grand scheme of things. You're going to get lost in the shuffle. There's going to be too many people out there looking for the same thing. 200 ads is not enough. I do 200 ads a week minimum. I usually do about 50 to 75 ads a day. not all at one time. I might have 5 minutes before I go to class. I can do 5 or 10 ads. You know, when I get back from class, while I'm eating, you know, I'll do something, or in between calls with students or calls, you know, for people trying to get into the business. I'm always trying to make sure that I'm adding something all the time. That you want to add as many ads as you can on a daily basis. There shouldn't be a day that goes by that you don't put at least 10 to 20, 30 ads if you can a day. You cannot put too many ads. I promise you, you cannot put too many ads out there. You can't flood the market, but you need to make sure your system's up and running when you have those ads, which means all of your links are changed. You have new stuff out there, because once people start finding you, if you don't have your links changed and they're shopping your website, somebody else is going to start getting your commission. So you need to make sure all your links are changed. And add new stuff. There's plenty of affiliates on CJ, on ClickBank. Brunette Marketing has 10 or 11 different ones that you can use. You can write pages for all of them. You all have, you know, things that are happened in your life, or things you like to talk about, your hobbies, just everyday things that you enjoy that might relate to somebody else. You know, they might like to hear another viewpoint on, you know, your weight loss, or why you like wine, or you know, how to decorate a new building, a new apartment, or how to clean a stain off of unstainable fabrics, or fabric that's hard to get stains out of, if you have a trick or trade or something like that. Or maybe just your political affiliation, you know, you have a view on something that's going on in the world and you want to talk about it. Talk about it. This is what this is for. And then you come back in and you find your products that you can use to put with it. I never write about a product unless it's something that I use personally and I can give a good view on it. I write about what happens to me every day, about what I know, about what I want to learn. You know, that do a Q&A, you know, and have your site to where people can come in and allow discussions on it. Right here where you can see, you can allow comments on your page. Let people do a discussion on your page. You know, put something out there and say, hey, give me your view on this, or what's your opinion on this? And then you can use their opinions and feedbacks and write another page.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, that's what this is for.
Oh,
allow
wow.
comments on your page. So when people come here and read it, and they can comment on what you wrote, but you have to be careful, because there are going to be people that are going to give negative comments to your page. So you have to make sure, if you allow them to comment, that you read it on a daily basis, because you don't want somebody on there giving you a bad review or being negative towards your product. That's going to make other people turn away from it. So, but once that happens, you have, because you're the administrator of the page, you can go in and hide or delete those comments. But, you know, if it's something that you want somebody to comment, either negative or positively, then yes, you can have them to allow comments on your page. And then you can use that to create another page. You know, you can say, hey, I ran this survey, or, you know, this questionnaire on my website, and this is the response I got. And then write about the response. And then depending on how the response, then you can go and look in your what affiliates that you have and promote. Maybe it's somebody that was needing money and didn't know how to, you know, get money, or wanting a loan and keeps getting turned down, you know, or somebody that might have some anger or relationships issues. You know, there's several book clubs on CJ. Give them a book. You know, there's several different relationships and things on ClickBank. Find one of those programs and link it with that. But there's several different ways you can use your affiliates and use your website. It's not just for advertising. I use mine as like a journal. You know, I journal all the time, or I used to, you know, and I got this, and now this is my journal. And it just happens to be, you know, that I have products now that I can sell with my journals, with my journaling. So if you look at it from that aspect, then the writing part doesn't become so daunting. Because a lot of people is like, well, I can't write. You don't need to know how to write so much as, do you have any ideas? You know, can you relate to other people? You know, do you have topics of discussion that you want to talk about? Use this as the platform to do it. So, all righty.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's see what else we have here. I just, for my time zone, if you go into Google and type in time zone map, it will pull up a map. There's several different policies or programs out there, and I just printed one off, and mine just has a copy of the United States, and it has abbreviations for the different states, and then the time zones are color coded. And it will actually tell you, like with Florida is in 2 different time zones. So is Kentucky and parts of Tennessee. They're in 2 different time zones. And if you have the color chart, it will actually show you where the break is, and you can see where they are. But that I still always ask, where are you? And then once they give me the information, I still go to Google and type in what's the time zone is so-and-so, Utah. Or, if I know the actual city and state, I'll put the city and state, and Google will tell me. Google's good for a bunch of stuff. So but I do use my map, especially if I'm calling off the Goya boards. I will use that Google map. And
it's called time zone map. Is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm, yeah. You put in United States time zone, and it will pull up, and you can just click which one you want to. You can actually pull up the image and then just print it.
What I've done too is I type into Google search bar, if I want to do Arizona, or I do AR time now, but that's good. But like you said, some of these states have, 2 different time zones, so that doesn't help that part.
Yeah. So that's why I have the map, and I have, whenever I'm in my office, it's right here beside of me. But it just has the state, but it does show the broken state if it does have multiple time zones in it. And then you have some time zones that don't even recognize the daylight savings time. Excuse me. One of my students, I love her to death, and we were setting up to meet Sunday afternoon. And she was like, oh, okay, well, that's going to be 3 hours now instead of 2. And I was like, what? She's like, well, daylight savings time is Saturday night. I was like, man, I was just getting used to it, because they don't observe daylight savings time. So it was just weird, because now I think it's Arizona. Arizona, they don't do daylight savings time. So, when it was switched back to regular time, we were only 2 hours difference. And now we're going to be 3 hours, which is specific. So now she's going to be in specific time instead of central time, because on my part. So I have to adjust being able to talk to her. But, but it will tell you that kind of stuff too when you pull up that map, who observes and who doesn't. So you can be on that. Because in the United States, there are calling times. You cannot call before, I think it's 8 or 9 o'clock, and you can't call after 9 o'clock. Those that, once you become an instructor or want to become an instructor, we actually have calls we can make now to Australia for Rory. And they have a different time zone. I think it's anywhere from 8 to 12 hours different from us. But they also have a calling time. You can't call before a certain time, their time, or after. And you have to observe those, or you can get fined if you get caught, or you get squealed on saying, hey, this person keeps calling me. They don't care that you're in a time zone. You should know it if you're calling them. So those are things that you need to be aware of, that there are calling restrictions. So you need to make sure, even though if you are in a different time zone, that you're not calling. It might be 9 o'clock your time, but it's, it might be 6 or 7 o'clock their time, depending on the time zone. So then you will be outside that calling limitation. So that's where time zones really come in handy, so that you stay within, the law, basically. Yeah. So Saturday night before you go to bed, make sure you spring an hour up. We're going to lose an hour. Yeah. So what else do we need to talk about? Any more questions?
Sheila, it's Constance.
Yes.
For some reason, and thank you, somebody, for telling me you were late, because I was slightly hysterical, because I still have problems getting on. I guess I'm Very stupid. Anyway, my chat is not highlighted. I'm just curious, what didn't I do?
Go ahead. You still talk.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The chat sign or icon next to share is not highlighted, so I don't know how to sign in. It won't light up. So I can't sign in. I can't. Am I?
Oh.
What am I doing wrong?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right. You see these three dots over here? Do you have that option where it says more?
Three little dots.
Or yours
Show
might be a little different because I'm the administrator. It might be different. But you should be able, once you get to the chat, just click on chat and it'll give you this chat box.
Well, I see more down here. It just says save chat.
No, yeah. If you're in where it says save chat, then you're in chat. You should just you just need to type where it says type message here. You just type.
I tried to do that.
Because I see where you sent me something.
Well, I'm saying hi now, and it just says to everyone. It says from me.
Yeah, that's right. That's from you, and
From me?
and it came through. You're me.
Okay, but last time it said Constance, so that's why I'm confused.
Yeah, you're me. Usually, if you're on your system, that's what it will say is me. It won't say your name. And then, but when it comes to on the other side, it will give us your name, who it came from. But I see where it says hi.
Other side, okay.
Yep.
Totally.
So, but I see it on my side. It says Constance.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Because I see everybody else's name highlighted, so I'm wondering.
Oh no, that's because you're seeing everybody else's name. See, everybody sees your name is highlighted. But because it's coming from you when you're writing in your own chat, it's not going to show your name.
Okay. So all right. Thank you.
But we can see you. And,
all right.
Yeah, we can see.
All right. Last time I saw my name and I went, all right. Thank you for explaining that, because
you're very welcome.
Something new.
But we see you. Yeah, on our side, when it pops up in the chat and we read the chat, it shows Constance. It actually shows your name, so we know.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Okay. Do we have any more questions about the site and how to work it, or do we need to go over anything specifically?
I have a question about, I don't know if I'm missing it or what, but when I'm doing a page, when I get to like the very end of the page or the last paragraph or whatever, I want to put another block below it, and I can't seem to find the plus sign to do that.
Okay, usually what you will have to do is when you get to the very bottom, because you are at the bottom, it can be kind of finicky depending on how long your site is. But if you go up to the corner, you see the plus is always in the corner, and it will add a block wherever your last cursor is. So if your cursor is at the bottom, so if your cursor's at the bottom and it won't show up in a block, just hit that plus sign and a block will show up.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Sheila, it's Constance again. Not that I know I'm being heard. Okay, another stupid question.
It's not stupid.
No. I'm going to protected RR2 performance blogging classes, and it says sign in below. I don't see where it says, then I see all the, I don't know where to sign in.
If you go to the performance blogging classes, it should say password protected. Did you put the password in there?
Yes, I did. So now I'm on protected RR247 performance blog, and then it says please sign in for, but I thought I just did. So frustrating. I'm trying to find the number. I guess it was
the 2Q84.7 is what you signed in for.
Yeah, and I put in my personal number, correct? 42 whatever,
Oh. Yeah, when you come here and it says password, you're gonna RRR247,
Oh, capital or lowercase?
capital.
2 4. All right. I thought it said me. All right. So it's as simple as that, right?
Simple as that. And then what
Right,
you
so
can
I-
do is bookmark it. And that way you shouldn't have to put that in every time. But if you look in your Skype, I actually sent you all that information in your Skype. So just bookmark that or put it in a folder so you'll have it for next time.
Okay. I did. I copied everything, pasted it on a new page, printed it up. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's there. And yeah, just whenever you go to that password, you're going to put the RRR247. And then once you get in there, then you should have access to all the Paul's training. And some of you get with your instructor because Paul did go back to the webinar training. So the classes are not going to be on the actual Zoom anymore. He's going to be putting it on something else. So you want to make sure that you get that link from your instructor if you're not on the Skype chats. But yeah, once you get into there, then you have all access to all his webinars that he's done so far.
But Paul's site changes all the time because remember you said as soon as I know, I'll send it to you.
No, this doesn't change. All he does is he'll come and add his latest one in here.
Okay. No,
So
but
if you have this site,
yeah.
when he finishes his class, when he finished his class this morning, then
Mhm.
he will upload whichever is the two, either Thursday or today's class. He will upload it into here. So you can come back and check it probably later today or tomorrow, and he will have the new one on here. So this is just a running page. He just keeps adding to it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And let's see if he put, yes, March the 7th. So he put Thursdays in there. So I doubt he'll put today's in there if he's already done Thursdays, but he may. I'm not sure because it says March 7th, and I think that was Thursdays. I'm pretty sure that was Thursday's date. So if he decides to put today's in there, then it will be the next one here. He will add it here, and it will have today's date on it, and you can go in there and watch the Zoom for today if he decides to use it. Okay. All right. Any more questions?
Well, I have one, but I'm not sure this is the right forum.
Try it.
Okay. You can tell me and I can take it offline with you if it isn't.
Yes, we can do that. So let's see.
Okay, it's the leads.
The leads. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I had one yesterday where there was hardly any information on him in the description. And then when I called him, wow, it was like, who got my credit card? Who charged this? And, you know, I had it researched in Linda Horn, and come to find out he's not in our database. So I'm not sure how to read those things. Because I told him he purchased something, which obviously wasn't true.
Which leads are you working with?
It's oh God, what's his first name?
What is it? The Australian. So if you want to change your title or anything in your title information or images or anything, you're going to come to your dashboard. You're going to come to your appearance, and you're going to go to your header, which is right here. Okay. And once you click on your header, it's going to give you a command bar. And this is just for your website. And this is where you can go and basically customize your website to make it look the way you want it to look. And it's great. You see that I have this burgundy background. I actually pulled that off of Google, just pulled up colors, background colors. And because I love burgundy, you know, that's one of my favorite colors. Fuchsia is fuchsia, and this has both of them. And you want to pull something up, you know, to help you, you know, personalize your website. Your site identity is where you will come and you will put your site title in here. So you want to change it. You want to create your own mall, which is what you're doing. You're not creating a store. You're creating a mall. You're creating a shopping environment. But you also want that shopping environment to be related to you and what you represent and what you want people to become accustomed to know what they're going to be expecting whenever they come to you or come to your site to shop. So this is where you're going to put your site title, which is your name. And then some people put a tagline, some people don't. Your tagline is just like a one-liner, you know, that sort of like a, what do you call it? God, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But it's just, you know, like a catchphrase. You know, this is what you're going to have here is your catchphrase. Now, some people will change their tagline based on the seasons. They might have, you know, Christmas shopping, spring, summer shopping, back to school shopping. That's totally up to you. You can put something there. You can make it standard, mine's standard. You can change it to rotate with the seasons. But once you put that in there, then you want to hit publish. And then that automatically changes it. Now, if you come back out, then you have your social media where you can come in. You can put your Facebook link. You can put your Twitter, your LinkedIn, Google. It has the option to put email, but because it puts this HTTP there in front of your email, it will go to a dead link because emails do not have HTTP. And if you take it out, it still automatically puts it in. So if you want people to go to your email, you're going to have to physically put it in your page and say, hey, join me, you know, on my email. Same thing with your colors. You can select your background colors if you want to, your link colors. Which changes your, I have mine as pink for my menu pages. Background color, because I have my own background, this, I didn't never change that back. So you can actually select, you know, just leave it white, publish, and then, you know, because I already have my own background. And then same thing with your header image. So this is where you want to do your header images. And what you're going to do is this is all the images that I've added. You want your images that you add to be related to topics or pages in your web system. You don't want anything in here that people can't find. So if they're rotating on my page and they see pet care, then they should be able to come to my search icon and type in pet care and find things on pets. You know, they shouldn't see a picture and look for that in your website and it's not there. So you want to make sure your pictures are there. Then all you have to do is once you come to this image, if you see one you don't like, just hit the X and it will take it out. If you want to add pictures, then you can most certainly do that. Up here, it will actually add a new image. Then you can go to your folder. Or if you have Dropbox and you have access to Rory's folder, or if you've created your own folder either in Word document or pictures that you've imported pictures from either personal cameras, you know, or things people sent you, or you've pulled stuff off Google or YouTube and you want to put them there, you just click Add Image and it will ask you where it's at. You know, you just pull the folder over and then you just click on the image you want to add. And then you want to click, you know, if you want them to rotate, you just click the randomizing, uploaded, and what it does, then it just rotates these pictures that are in here. And then, you know, whenever somebody clicks a page, then depending on where they are in the rotation, that picture will show up. And then once you get all your pictures in there that you want, you just hit published, and then those pictures will start cycling through your website. Same thing with your background images. Like right here is my background. I got it full screen so that the whole screen takes up the whole screen, but you can set it any way you want it. You know, if you want it to fit to the screen, then it will, you know, be a little bit smaller and just fit the actual wording. You can have it repeat, which means it will show up in blocks, or you can customize it and just fix it the way you want to. I just did it to fill the screen because I want it to be able to see any, you know, the whole thing. The other thing is what you want to be aware of, and a lot of people aren't. Whenever you go to your website, sometimes, especially after an update, and it looks kind of weird like this, where everything's on one side and then all your words are down at the bottom, and you're in a full screen and it's still showing like that, check down here on these controls. These controls will show you what your website looks on various devices. This is a desktop, which is where you should always be working in, is a desktop. But if you want to see how your page is going to look on a tablet, you will click on tablet. If you want to see how it will look on a phone, an iPhone, or any kind of smaller device, you will click on that, and it will show you exactly how your page will look. A lot of people don't realize this is there, and then they get kind of wigged out because they go to pull up their system and it looks weird. It's like, well, where's my words? My words are at the bottom of my page. My menu's at the top. If that ever happens when you go into your website, click on your header images, your header information, and you want to go down and check these and make sure that desktop is open, is clicked on. And then it will revert back to the way it's supposed to be. Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. But
so
go ahead.
So if we change the name of our webpage, we also have to go on like CJ to update that also?
Yes.
Anywhere we need to change the
Anywhere
webpage name?
yes. Yeah, because if you don't, when those advertisers come to check your website, they'll be looking for that name. Some of them will actually type in your website, like mine's 5e95.com. A lot of them will just look for your name. And if you've got denied by some popular people that you should have gotten access to, then it's because you haven't changed your name, and they're looking for, and they see 20 online amazing offers and all of them's different, got a different URL. So they're thinking it's a copy. You copied somebody else's name. So that's why you want to change your name as soon as you can, as fast as you can. And then when you go to, sign up for all these affiliate programs, then you have your name and you won't have to change it again. But if you when you change your name, and I highly suggest you change it from the online amazing offers and make it personable, then yes, definitely go back and change. If you've put in your name as online amazing offers, go ahead and change that to whatever you're getting ready to put it to.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that today because I've been working on a lot of ads, putting them out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm getting a lot of views.
Yep.
But we don't get paid for the views, right? We're just sending them to whatever ad we're trying to sell.
Yeah, and your views helps you get your Google AdSense, because Google looks at your views. So what you want to do is get as many views and impressions as you can, because eventually they're going to turn into clicks, and clicks turns into buys. But for Google AdSense, for them to move you within the Google system from off the back page, middle page, into those first 5 pages, they look at see how many times your website's being viewed. They don't care who's buying off your website. They want to make sure people's looking at your website. And so that's where your free ads come in. That's where your social media comes in, because that means people are converting from those ads, from those social media contacts, coming to your website to view it, to look at it, to see what you got going on. Google recognizes that, because then they say, okay, she got somebody to come from Facebook to go to her website to look at it. All right, what does she have? Does she have relevant material? Does she have, trending stuff? Does she have something that's popular? Do we need to index her better? And they watch that. The other companies watch that too. The bigger name brand companies, especially on CJ, they watch that. They look to see how many impressions you've gotten. They can't go into your actual information and say, okay, this page only got 5 impressions today, but they can see how many impressions you've gotten from other affiliates through CJ. So if you're getting high impressions, then they're like, okay, people's clicking, they're looking at her website. So therefore you are getting traffic. That's a big plus, because then those bigger name brands will eventually come on board, because your website's getting traffic, and that's the ultimate goal, is to get traffic. Traffic brings clicks, clicks bring sales.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you're getting traffic to your site, you're doing great. Put more ads on there, but still you want to make your page personable. You want it to stand out, and it's not going to stand out if it's got the same name as 50 other people.
Okay, I'm gonna get that done this weekend because I've only really been focusing on two main ads, and I've only done it for like Oklahoma City. So
Okay.
I have a lot to go back and
Yep.
add on.
Yep. And if you're doing it for that, then you need to expand, do all states, especially in the classifieds for free and the classified ads where you have access to every state. And the US Net ads, you have access to a lot of countries in there. If your product is marketable in the United States, make sure you hit every state. Every state. If it's marketable worldwide, then you make sure you hit every country that you have access in those free markets to market it to, and get and put it out there.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, good questions. All right, anybody else?
Yes. Google Voice. Do you recommend we get that? And if so, what is the purpose for it?
Google Voice is a tool that you can use for, and you have to have a regular phone line or cell phone line to use it, to access it. I use Google Voice all the time for the simple fact it doesn't clog up my personal phone. And if they call and leave me a message, it goes to my email, and Google lets me know, hey, they translate the voicemail and send it to me. So then I can turn around and call them back. It works on my computer, it works on my phone, but it assigns me a phone number. And then whenever I go to contact my students or, people that I need to call, I use my Google Voice. Then that way I'm not clogging up my personal phone.
And does it store, you can send texts
Yes.
as well. And does it store the text?
It keeps a constant flow in there, so you can go back and read your text. I have some that's been in there since I've started, but then you can go in and delete the text in there and clean it out a little bit if you need to. But it holds them in there until you actually go in and physically remove them.
On the storage on your phone?
No, on your computer. It's on Google Voice.
Oh.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's on your computer. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's on your computer. It doesn't store on your phone. You just have to have a working accessed phone, so that they can, link and say, hey, yeah, you do have, a phone that we can connect it to. But it has nothing to do with your storage of your actual phone.
But where on your computer does it store that stuff? Or
it just stores it in Google, just like it does with an email.
Okay.
Yep.
And is there an application to fill out to do that?
You can just type in Google Voice,
Mhm.
and it'll pull it up, and then it has the information there for you to sign up for it. And then it just puts it on your computer, and it's there. I just bookmark mine, and whenever I go to it, it will ask you, when you get ready to assign a number, it will give you locations. So you want to make sure that you're within a location that's close to you. You don't want to get a phone number, if you're like with me, I'm in North Carolina. I didn't want to get a South Carolina phone line, because then you could be running into charges. You don't want to run into charges. So you still want to get it within your calling area so that you still have the same information. But it will give you a list of areas that you have access to, so that you don't run into it, especially if you have restrictions on your calling plan, so that you don't run into anything and don't run into any charges. But you can't use it for you can use it for out of country charges, phone charges, but then you have to set it up, and I think it costs to do when you do that. It's a minimum cost, but other than that, it's a free charge. It's a free service.
Oh, but you said it's a cost to call Australia, for instance?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's, I forgot how much it is. It's not a whole lot, but it's still, there is a charge. But then again, because it's your business, you can write it off.
Okay. All right. And there's a word that Google Plus is going away.
Yeah.
What is Google Plus?
Google, I have Google Plus, and I haven't used it a whole lot. It's just another marketing outlet that's out there, and I really couldn't figure anything out other than it's just another advertising site. That was it. But a lot of people never used it or don't use it a whole lot. So they're doing away with it. But it wasn't nothing to write home about, so to speak.
Okay, so we're not missing out on anything.
No, you're not. I mean, it was a tool that you could use, but like I said, there's other things that you have access to that worked a whole lot better than the Google Plus.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sheila, it's Constance again.
Yes.
Kill me. Everybody, I apologize terribly, but I am trying desperately to put in the exact thing that you gave me, and it'll take me directly to the same page, the correct one. I can't find the page where I can put the password in. So it is taking me to the performance blogging classes, but not to the page where I did. Wait, go back. See, that's where it's taking me. It's not allowing me to go to where I put in, that little thing you showed me
but
first.
This is, do you see my page? This is where
Yes,
you
I
are?
do. Yes,
Well, then
I do.
you're in the site.
But it says I have to sign in.
Where is it?
Okay, wait, go here, performance blogging classes, sign for the performance blogging system masterclass below.
Oh, no, that's just Paul. No, you're in.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you're in, darling. If you scroll down, you see where it says March 7, 2019. If you click on that, it'll take you to the one for Thursday.
I'm sorry. I just kept looking at the sign in below.
No, you're good.
All right. I'm going to shut up now. Goodbye, everybody.
You're fine, sweetheart. You're fine. But yeah, if you go to the highlighted where he's got your links,
Yeah.
that's the actual training. He's just giving you writing some information. So yeah, you're good.
I got stuck on the sign below.
Yep. You're in. You are totally in. If you're on this page, you are on the webinar page. So all you have to do is click any of the highlighted information, and it'll take you to the Zoom class that he did. So you are fine.
All right. I marked it, bookmarked it.
You are totally in. You're good to go.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right, let's see. We got one more thing. Yeah.
Sheila, one more question.
Okay.
What is the web page where we get the short URL for?
It's called tinyurl.com.
Okay.
Hold on, I actually have it somewhere. Yeah, see, tinyurl.com.
Okay, that's what I needed.
Yep. But you have to be careful when you're using tiny URLs, because they will break down over time. So if you use a tiny URL in anything, especially some of these things have really long URLs. So if you use it for a tiny URL, you want to check it, at least once a month to make sure it doesn't break down.
Okay.
And just, re-establish that link. But for some reason, it doesn't hold a link permanently. So like I said, just every once in a while, go back and just double check it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is a great tool. I use it on some of my, especially if I have a long title in a page. I'll use it for a tiny URL. If I'm doing something on Instagram or Facebook, I'll put it in there because I'm always on those, so I can always go in and update it later. But if you're going to do it on one of the free ad sites, I would go ahead and use the original link, just for the fact that, you probably won't go in and check those, especially the ones that are good, like the classifieds for classified ads. They're good for 6 months. US Net ads, they're good for a year. But for the most part, a lot of them are only good for 30 days. And they'll, if they don't send you notification that they're getting ready to expire. So you would have to check on those yourself. But for the most part, I would, if it's not something that's going to be short term, I wouldn't use a tiny URL. If it's something that you're just going to pull out there and sit, then, I would use the original.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Any more questions?
Do you use Shopify at all?
Shopify?
Okay.
Mm-mm. I've heard other people talk about it, but I don't use it.
I'm just curious.
Hold on. Let me see if I've got you on mute, Miss Linda Marie. Are you on mute? Let's see. Yes.
Mute now. Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Oh, it's going me. I'm going across.
You were on mute, so I unmuted you so I can hear you now. What you got, darling?
Well, now that I've worked so hard to get in your attention, I've gotten lost. It was people talking about having talked to somebody, and is that another level of this program where you're actually
Yes.
talking to customers?
Once you get your website done, I remember we were talking about getting you into instructing, but we need to make sure you have your site up and running and that you are knowledgeable enough that you can teach someone else how to do it.
Okay,
Have
so
an
it's not me.
understanding.
That's not
That's
me.
where we're going to get you. Don't
Okay.
worry. We're going to get you there. That's why we're working on it. That's why I give you homework. And it's not for everybody, I know that, but for those that I know that can handle it, I will make sure that you have the right equipment and tools and that you know what you need to know to get there. I do have my students that I feed them because I know they cannot get on the phone. They are actually terrified of it. So, but they want to get to that aspect. So I will feed them. I'll get them in the PBS and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to give you to this wonderful instructor and I'll pass them down. And then it's up to them to walk them through their system, get them, set up, show them how to get their links, get them, do the flow with them so that they can get into the wine programs, the anchor programs. And then eventually, once they get enough of those students, I feel, they will come and tell me, say, okay, I'm ready to do this on my own, then I let them fly. But until then, I have no trouble feeding people students. I have no trouble at all. I get them into PBS and I'll hand them right on down. Because that only grows you better. But the criteria is you need to be comfortable enough with your own system that you can teach somebody else how to use it.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's the next step. Once you get to that point, then that's your next step is to do what I do. And it can be fast and furious, or it can be a slow buildup. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to go with what I feel I get from the student themselves on how they're comfortable enough. Because if a student's scared to death, then they're not going to be very forthcoming in helping somebody else. So you don't want to lose two because one's not quite where they need to be. But, there's
Are
some.
you talking about me, Sheila?
No.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. You should call me Miss
Actually
Snell.
talking about me right now.
No, I know. And I'm a people person. I can read people. That's why I had such a hard time with the phone, because I like seeing people face to face. Facial expressions tell everything.
Absolutely.
Your eye contact tells me more than what comes out of your mouth a lot of times.
Absolutely.
So I've had to learn to use voice inflections on how people talk to me through the phone to determine the same thing. And I can tell, if someone's ready to get started, or if they are, scared to death, or if they don't have that confidence. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to build your confidence. And the way to build your confidence is to make sure you're comfortable in doing what you're doing. If you don't have that comfort, if you have more questions than answers, then you're not ready to be teaching someone else. But if you're telling me stuff and then it's like, okay, you're ready, why are you still here? I'm getting ready to kick you out the nest. But I'll still be here to feed you anytime that you get hungry, So just because an instructor or your instructor or mentor lets you fly, don't think that they're still not there for you. I still go to Debbie whenever I get in a situation that I just don't know which way to turn, or I think there might be a better solution. I call her, and she knows that if I'm calling her or texting her, then hey, it's something important.
Right.
You know, but most of the time, yeah, I don't go to my instructor because, you know, she knows I'm confident in what I'm doing. But she does know that if I do come to her, then it's something major. We got to fix or figure something out. And that's where we all need to be, to the point that we're confident enough that we can teach anybody what we're doing. But we still should have that rapport with our original mentor or our upline, that if we do get a situation that we are either not comfortable with or really need to find an alternative solution, that we can go to them.
Okay.
All right.
In trying to do those headings up on the top of the dash where you've got folder 1, 2, 3, and you got member and affiliates, and you got those things. I have gotten my bookmarks in such a mess. I have to dig through each one I'm trying to find where I did the training, and I've got things in training somewhere else. I'm going, I don't know how that happened. I'm trying to get it on that main line there so I can look up and snatch it from there instead of having to go.
And if you are in Google, and see, and that's the other thing, some people are going to getting to Google through Yahoo or through another browser, and then you're just pulling Google up. And when that happens, when you're using a browser to pull up a browser, when you go to save information, it's going to save it in your original browser. It's not going to save it in Google. So that's why you have two different browsers.
Right. Well, I'm in Google Chrome.
Yep. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that that is your default browser, which means whenever you pull up the internet, Google Chrome is the only one that's going to come up. You don't have to go in and say, click out of Microsoft Word Edge to get to Chrome. Chrome should automatically pull up if you've used it as a default. Right. When you do that and you go to this little star up here, and you want to bookmark a page, when you bookmark it, you should get this right here, and you're going to the name's going to pull up of whatever the page is, and then you have these folders. Okay, hold on. Somebody needs to.
Anything as far as,
needs to mute. Okay, thank you. So whenever you do that, then you have the folders, and then you just click on the drop down. If you don't see it in there, then you can choose another folder, or you can add a folder.
Okay.
So it'll say more. When you click on the more, then you can choose another folder. Right here it says make a new folder. When you make a new folder, then you want to put it on your bookmark bar, which is the one that shows up right here. Okay.
I didn't figure out what I did wrong, Sheila. I haven't been using the star. I've been using the 3 dots.
Yeah. No, you want to use the star, and then, that way it can save it where you want to save it, and you can put it. Now, if you have some stuff that's here, this is all in my bookmark bar, right here in my actual bookmark bar. But if I wanted to put it in a folder, I would just click it, and, I can add it to one of the folders that I want to put it in if I want to move it to one of the folders. But, it's here in my bookmark bar. So that's how you can do that. And then what you want is your most important things here, the ones that you're going to go to all the time. Like mine is my websites here, my Brunette Marketing, my computer is here, and then my Response Magic. These folders have all of my business information. Here's all of my affiliates, here's all my trainings, and then here's all of my other little odds and ends that I use here and there. So that's how you want to do your folders, is you want to have each folder with specific information in it. Okay. But as far as things that you want on your bookmark bar, is you want to make sure your website is on your bookmark bar, because you don't want to keep hunting it. Right. And then anything else that you use all the time is the other things you want to put on your bookmark bar. And when you bookmark it, you want to make sure you bookmarked it after you've put your passwords in. Right. You don't want to put it in there and bookmark it before your passwords, because then you're looking up passwords again. Right. So after you put your passwords in it and it pulls up your site, bookmark it then, because then when you go back to it, that's what it pulls up with your passwords and everything already in it.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Got it? Good.
Now I got some work to do.
Yes, you do.
Some more work to do.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is, y'all have heard probably your instructor or mentor preach it, and I know mine have. You always, even though we have our wonderful anchor offers and we promote those anchor offers hard and heavy, you still do not want to neglect adding new stuff to your website, because that is going to be your backbone of your business. You don't want to let that get stagnant. You don't want to let that, just flounder and build up, your anchor offers. Yes, your anchor offers are going to be bringing you money. They're going to be the lucrative things, but everybody is not going to appeal to wine. Everybody's not going to appeal to coffee and weight loss. So you want to make sure that your mall has options, and that those options are fresh and upbeat and are there for people. So don't let your website get stagnant. So you want to make sure that you're modifying, at least 30% of the time that you're working on your site. Say, I usually try to spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day on my webpage. And it's either I'm creating new pages, I'm posting to my website, ad sites, or I'm going back, remodifying stuff that have, that things changed, or updating, my other pages that are in there. So you want to kind of set aside your time that you have. I mean, there's some of us that are on the phone calls, helping Rory out with the leads, so you got to still allocate time for yourself with your website. Don't get lost in other things that your website gets put in the background. Always, every day, you want to be working on it. If it's nothing but creating a page, or starting a page. But you want to make sure that you're advertising every day too. That's why I said, if you can do 10 a day, put 10 ads out there a day, as many as you can get, in the time frame that you have. But you need to allocate. That's why, Tanya's getting ready to do some training with some of us ladies instructors on how to allocate your time. So your time management, that's what I was telling last week, work that calendar, allocate time for yourself to work on your website. And even if it's only 30 to 45 minutes, make sure that you have that consistently. It might not be the same 30 or 45 minutes a day, or the same hour, or however much time you have to allocate, but at least allocate some time every day for you to work on your system. So it does not get stagnant. And that means your actual system, not the little odds and ends that go around it. Your actual system. You need to be in your website working on it, either modifying pages, adding new stuff, creating, putting your links, refreshing your links, advertising. You want to be in your system at least every day, at least 30 minutes every day. At least 30 minutes every day, so it does not stagnate. Because if it stagnates, Google will move you. If you're getting good traffic all of a sudden, and then Google comes in and looks and says they don't have anything new, they don't have any new pages, then all of a sudden you're going to start moving backwards on Google instead of forward. You don't want to do that. So always, always, always be in your system. Once your system gets done, you've got all your links done, all your modifications done, and you're adding new pages, get with your instructor and say, hey, my site's done. I want to apply for Google AdSense. And that's what you want, because then you get to see all these lovely little pop-ups show up on your website. And these pop-ups pay you money from Google. And if somebody, you don't click on your own link, you don't click on your own Google will take it off. They'll ban you.
Right.
But somebody will come here, man, I'm tired of that pop-up. They click that little X. Guess what? I get paid. I don't care if you didn't look at it or not. You clicked on that X. I get paid. Right. Now, if they actually come here and pull this up, then I get paid again. I get paid more because they actually went to the website.
Okay.
So you want to get that, because that's free money for you.
Right.
They might not ever buy from the actual link that is in your site, but if they click on that Google link, that Google ad, that's free money for you.
Cool.
That's where you want to head with your website. You want to get it to the point to where Google says, hey, let me advertise on your website and we'll pay you. And that's what that amounts to.
That's some pretty awesome stuff.
It is. I love it. I'm getting ready to cash out on my Google and put it in my bank account. I'm saving up for my beach house. So, all right. So what else do we have?
And your Mustang.
Yes, I'm putting my Mustang off though because I want a beach house.
Okay.
You know, I had to get that truck last year. I had to get my Explorer. So because my Expedition died on me, it needed an engine. So I had to go and get me an Explorer, and this company's paying for it. So I'm not complaining. But now, since I had to get that, because I didn't have anything but my house payment, but now I got a house and a car payment. But I'm trying to get that paid off at least by the end of this year because we're doubling up the payments thanks to this. And the other thing I want to do is, you know, my cousin keeps trying to get me to buy a house beside her at the beach. She has her own house at the beach. And, you know, we grew up as sisters. We didn't know until we were older that we were actually cousins. So, you know, it didn't matter that we had two different moms. You know, we just always was together, me, her, and my sister. So we still call each other sisters, and our kids call her aunt, you know, and her kids call me aunt. So we're sisters. And last year she bought her beach house, and she's like, okay, every time one comes open, she's like, there's a house down the street for sale. So
Where is her beach house?
it's in Oak Island here in North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very nice, very
I love
quiet,
beaches.
very laid back. You know,
I love
love it.
beaches.
Yeah, that's my dream. A beach house. So that's what I'm saving up for. And when I get it, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going to have any payments when I get it. So I'll pay for it straight out. So that's why I'm
That's
working.
the way to go about it.
Yep, don't want to have no bills other than my taxes. So what else do we have today? We're going to give it a few more minutes, and then I got to head out. I got to go celebrate with my grandson. He actually got moved up in his taekwondo today. I'm very proud of him.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So
I
he's
think that's it for me.
that's it.
I get the link of a shop where we craft with Tanya.
Mhm.
Am I promoting her? Where do I go to get a link?
That's no, Crafting with Tanya is just an informational page.
Okay.
You can do with that whatever you want to with it.
What do you mean by that?
That means if you don't want to promote it, you don't have to.
Okay.
Or if you find things that you can market for crafts, like, you know, I have the yarn, Red Heart yarn. So since she's actually talking about crafts and things like that, you can do
I like Red Heart yarn.
Yeah.
I
So
do
you can
crochet.
so you can do DIY stuff with that link, you know, or you can put however you want to utilize it. And just make it your own. That's just more of information that Roy put in there because, you know, that's how it started with Tanya, At Home with Tanya. So she was doing crafting and scrapbooking.
Right.
So it just transferred over. So you can use it or not use it. But if you decide to use it, want to use the information in there, then incorporate it with things that you have in your website or that you have approval for. So like I said, with the crafting, you can do DIY projects, you can do home interior, you can, you know, do decorating ideas, different things like that. You can do like, you know, kitchenware, pots and pans. So things that kind of stuff, just however you want to incorporate it.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sheila, it's Constance. On Tuesday night, Rory, and he turned it over. My daughter's name is Tanya, so I'm sorry. I don't say Tanya. So, okay, Tanya talked about, I think what you were talking about, the calendar of, you know, getting your time. And I guess what I didn't understand is, Rory said something about he's so excited that Tanya had created this.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's for the instructor. She's actually has and for all those instructors, she's actually doing a webinar. She hasn't decided yet when she's going to do it. She's getting ready to do a webinar for the instructors on how to do time management.
Okay, I
That was
didn't.
for everybody.
Yeah,
I need some too.
yeah, and like I said, they might do it as a webinar, like with Paul and like what we're doing on Saturday. So she might do it on one of the Tuesday night calls and show how to do that. But that's one of the things that she's doing is because there's a lot of people that don't know how to do time management. They get lost, with, different things, especially those that still work a full-time job. And then they're working the Goya lines with the phone incoming inbound calls. And then it's like, well, I don't have time for my students. I don't have time to build my website. So it's more of trying to work your calendar, learning how to work a calendar. Because when you have a job and that's all you've known is your job, then you're dedicated those 8 to 10 hours, either getting back and from the work to actually do the work. Then you come home and take care of your family, and do whatever you need to do around the house. And then you're in bed. So when you incorporate a business in that, then you're just like, well, I already got this routine. How am I going to put this in it? And then as your business grows, then you got to compensate and allow for that time. I've always worked a calendar. Even when I was in management, or working in a regular job, I've always had to work a calendar because of what my job entailed. So I'm accustomed to working a calendar, but a lot of people are not. My husband is accustomed to working a calendar. So literally we sit in here on Sunday night and people think we're crazy. When my parents come to visit and they stay for a while, they laugh at me and my husband because it's like, okay, what you got planned for this week? What days do we need to, do I need to do this? What day? And it's like we both are. I'm on my computer with my Google Calendar up. He's got his calendar up, and we're getting our calendar. And I was like, no, I got a student this day. Well, can we do it? But we work a calendar. And like I said, a lot of people cannot work a calendar, and you need that. You need to allocate. We all have 24 hours in a day. And depending on how your business grows is what you need to do with that time. And if your business is growing in leaps and bounds, then you got to make a decision. Do I still need my full-time job, or can I cut down to part-time, and still do what I need to do? Or do I need to give up, maybe I'm going to exercise or going to the gym 3 or 4 times for 3 or 4 hours a night. Maybe I can only go 2 to 3 times, for an hour a night and build my business, or work with my students. So you have to manage your time wisely because you only have 24 hours a day. You only have 7 days a week, and that's it. And to utilize, and you got to get out of that consumer mindset and get into a business mindset. And that means your time is your time, and you got to do what's best for your time to get the most out of it. And sometimes it might be stopping at McDonald's and getting a sandwich and coming home, getting on the phone, or working with a student versus coming home fixing a 4-course meal, And I've done that before. It's like, okay, my husband's going to be home in a few minutes. Let me throw a pack of hot dogs in the oven. We're going to be as a bag of chips. We're good to go. So,
see, I fall more in the line of what Rory was talking about. I've been used to being the employee, and I've not been the employer.
Exactly. And that's the consumer mindset is the employee. So you got to get out of the employee mode and into business mode, because your business is not going to grow. It's going to stagnate if you do not grow it. And in order for you to grow it, you're going to have to put the time in it. But if your time is still trying to do all the other little things that you did as an employee, you're not going to ever get to the business side of it.
All right.
Thank you, Sheila. I was wondering after they talked about it, I'm going, okay, where do we get this?
Yeah. And I think she's still trying to figure out how they're going to do that. But I know that they're going to either do it for the instructors first and then publish it, either on Paul's website or Priscilla's, or she might just do a webinar one day or one night and just invite everybody in. I think they're still trying to iron that out, how they want to handle it.
Yeah.
But
I was amazed by her punctuality on everything. I thought, wow, how do you get like that?
Tanya is the business person. She has always ran her own business. I don't think, maybe when she was younger, She might, and then I'm saying younger, she's younger than I'm older than she is. But when she first got into workforce, she might have worked for somebody, but as long as I've known her, she's always had her own business. She's always been the one in control, and she has always work that calendar. When I tell you, Rory wasn't kidding. If you were on Tuesday night and he was telling you about how he has a notebook, when we were in Napa, he was like me. We were both pulling notebooks out, and when we were sitting at the airport waiting for our planes, we were sitting at the restaurant, and he literally pulled his notebook out and he was writing notes, and we were all brainstorming, and he literally, he has that notebook everywhere he goes. And I call it a day planner. I say, you carry a day planner? He's like, no, this is my notebook. I said, no, that's a day planner. But yeah, he carries it around. I carry little notebooks around everywhere I go. If I don't have it, if I can't find it or it's full, then I pull out my phone, pull up my notepad in my phone, and I type something, whatever I'm thinking about, or, the idea I have. But that's what you need to do, is you need to get in the frame of mind that everything you see is a potential business possibility. Okay. And when I say that, that means that everything you see can be a page incorporated into your website. Okay. And the more that you see people talking about it or investigating it or, looking into something, the better possibility that you're going to get more traffic to your website based on that information.
Right. Okay.
Okay. But learn to work that calendar.
Well, see, I have a pocket calendar, get my doctor appointments and stuff. So I work by that calendar on doctor appointments. So yeah. I've got to incorporate work schedule.
Expand it.
Yeah.
Expand it. And that's why I use mine on my laptop, because it's big. I can pull it up on my laptop and I can see everything for the whole week. And if I want to pull it up for the whole month, I can pull it up for the whole month. And I do week to week, and I set aside a time every week, every Sunday night, between 5 and 7, I sit down and I do my calendar, because by then I've already talked to all of my students. We've already established a time for the following week that we're going to be getting together. Mm-hmm. Then I can see what times I have available to work all the other stuff, what times I'm going to put in for myself, what times I can take care of my grandkids. I already know from 1 to 3 every day I have to go get my grandson from school. It's a given. And I know 3 days out of the week from 4 to 5 o'clock, we have to go to Taekwondo. So I already know there's a whole block of time right there that's dedicated to my family.
All right.
Now, while I'm sitting at Taekwondo, trust me, I have my laptop with me, and I'm either working on my page or I'm talking to somebody, texting or something. I'm not being idle with my time. Right. So you learn how to multitask. But then after that, then it's like, okay, me and my husband, like I said, we get together. What did you need me to do this week? You need me to run, go take care of taxes? Do I need to go, run and get grocery, make sure my errands are done? So that's why you need to set down a time consistently every week to where you can plan out your week. Right. And then if something comes up, don't have it so set in stone that you can't manipulate it a little bit.
Right.
So you always want to, everything that I schedule, I always give 30 minutes, give or take. If I'm running late, today was an exception because I was planning somebody was supposed to meet me so I can leave, but they must have had, something must have happened on their end. But always make sure that you do have a little bit of leeway so that if something comes up and you need to change immediately, that you do have a fallback plan. But you need to be able to at least have that first basis done. And I always say Sunday is good for us because, it's the start of the new week. We've already, other weeks past, it's starting fresh, just come home from church, took our nap and ate and everything, we're good to go. So, but set aside a day that you can sit down and plan your calendar. And then here's the thing, you got to work what you plan.
Right. You got to stick with what you put down there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it's going to be hard if you've used to taking orders and just being that, yes, okay, and having to do it on your own. It's a big step for some people.
Right.
But you have to take those baby steps. If you only want to plan out the first couple of days or the last few days, you take those baby steps, but at least do something to get you on your way.
Right. Okay.
All right. Okay. Anything else? And we're going to call it a day. We all
Thank you
good?
so much.
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Thank
So-
you, Sheila.
You're
Thank you,
very
Sheila.
welcome. Now,
awesome.
next week, I just do what y'all ask me. But next week, I will not be here. Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's right.
Yeah. My grandson has his first softball tournament or baseball tournament game next weekend, and my husband has his baseball tournament, and they're in opposite directions. So I won't get to go with my husband to his, but I will have to go to my grandson. My husband's grown; he can handle if I can't be there. My grandson wants mama there because I think I'm the loudest one in the bunch.
Oh, that means spring is coming.
Yes, exactly. And if anything changes, y'all know how to get in touch with me. You can Skype me. Just look for me on Skype. I'm there. Just look for Sheila Matchett or Oily Tips. Either one, we're there. But if anything changes, I will get with your instructors and post it on the board that something changed. But as of right now, I will not be here next weekend. We won't.
You will be missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sorry.
What days of what are you calling the weekend? Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah,
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
So Sunday, but Saturday we won't have our class, like I said, unless something changes. But as of right now, it looks like I definitely will not be here Saturday.
Okay.
So, but get with your instructor if you have anything. And like I said, if anything changes, I will definitely let your instructors know. But as of right now, it looks like we won't have class next Saturday.
Okay.
Sheila, one more thing. You just said post it to the board. Did you say something like that?
That's for the instructors. I actually have a board of my
okay.
own for my class, and that the instructors go to let me know I have students coming in. So I will post the note on there to let them know I won't be here. And if anything changes, that's where I'll put it, and they'll let y'all know.
Okay.
Charlene said she just set me up with you forever and ever.
Yeah, y'all can come as long as you need to. But if I feel you don't need to be here anymore, then I'm going to be like, all right, clear out and get some room for somebody else. But you're more than welcome to jump on, because I do have people that have jumped on and got what they needed and then, gone, and then they've come back, a few weeks later because something else changed and they weren't quite, sure about it. So, yeah, I'm here every week unless something happens or comes up that I can't be here. But, yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome to come
Now
on.
that I know you're here, I just show up. Charlene doesn't tell me to.
Yep. Yeah, I'm here as often as you need me. And like I said, unless something happens like the upcoming week that I won't be here, then more than likely I'll be here.
All right.
All right, y'all. Well, have a good week and get to working on your site. And like I said, work that calendar.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye-bye.
How do you? Oh, escape.